This podcast represents the opinions of the hosts of the Laugh Cry Club and guests on the show. The content here should not be taken as medical advice and is for informational purposes only. And because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we share is accurate, we welcome any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors. And we're live.
Hey everybody, we're live.
Welcome to the Laugh Cry Club.
Welcome.
I'm Joy.
I'm Rebecca.
And we love Chelsea.
We love Chelsea. So
hi, Chelsea.
Yeah, for our new listeners, there's generally 3 therapists, and Chelsea's our third leg of the stool. Chelsea's taking a bit of a break right now, and then we're holding down everything until Chelsea returns. But
we miss her dearly. She's just such a bright light, ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
Truly, she is the definition of ray of sunshine. So
Totally.
we continue to send you all the love in the world, Chelsea. We miss you. We love you. And I keep telling her, I'm like, come back when you feel ready. Just when you're ready, we're here. So that's the vibe. As always, we start every episode with a laugh and cry of the week. We have some topics, we've got some listener questions, and then we'll wrap up. But we are therapists who just want to normalize this wild ride of a human experience.
Yeah.
So we are here with this Laugh Cry Club, and we hope that you feel better after listening to this episode. We definitely don't want you, there's too much out there in the world that you read and absorb that is negative. We want you to have an uplifted feeling after listening to the show.
And to feel like you have a community of people that feel similar to you.
I promise you, you are not alone.
You are not alone.
You are in great company of just being a human with ups and downs. All right. You want me to start with the laugh cry? Did you go last week?
I think I went last week. You go.
Okay, I will go this week. I didn't really have a cry this week. I was like, okay, this is really funny. I have had like a pretty even-keeled week. If there was any like kind of cute cry that I would think about, it would be my dad my mom's been in and out of not hospital, but she's had some surgeries recently. She had some knee surgery, and then she was in the ER last week for a vascular occlusion. So she has to see a vascular surgeon soon to help with that. Luckily, it's nothing like majorly urgent, but it's enough to be like, we got to check this out. But my dad's so cute because he keeps calling me every night with the mom report. And Aww. It like breaks my heart, but like in a good way, because he's like, I got to give you the mom report. Because he's so worried about her. I mean, I say this without irony, exaggeration, or dramatics. He truly cannot live without her. Like they've been together over 50 years. They are just attached at the hip. He is so reliant on her. So I think he, especially in their older age, just really, really relies on her. It's just super cute. Every night he's like, I got the mom report. She's doing great today. She went bowling, or she didn't go bowling.
She went bowling.
She has bowling friends. She went out to lunch with her bowling friends. She can't bowl right now because of her knee still, but
she
it's
does
just really
bowl,
sweet.
Typically,
she does bowl every Monday. She's on a little league. It's called the Gutter Hussies.
And is this like a midday bowling league, or that's the bowling
every
league
Monday
for
at
me.
like 11 a.m.
I can't I'd love to be on a bowling league, but they all do them like at like 7:00 or something. I'm winding down at that point.
Yeah.
That sounds so fun.
So that has been my cry. My laugh was really cute because I went to the farmer's market for the first time in my new city. Okay. It's like the summer farmer's market. I'm still having like a little nostalgia hits where I miss things about my old city and where I used all the creature comforts, like my old farmer's market. So I saw that it started in my new town, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go. And I show up, and the first booth that I see is this vegan bakery, gluten-free, dairy-free, and I don't eat gluten or dairy. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, this is really great. Yeah. And the woman who was running the booth was like, I immediately just was drawn to her energy, okay?
Yeah.
She was this like tiny little fit spitfire, just so radiating of goodness. And she's talking to this guy in front of me. So this is also a great like rando. I felt so proud of myself thinking of Chelsea.
Yep.
Because it was like such a rando moment. Rando connections.
Yeah. For lovers and dreamers like us.
And it was so sweet. So this guy is in front of me, and he's probably like 6'6". He is very tall, like a larger boned man. And he's sitting here eating these baked goods as she is making her own sample platter and just feeding him. Like, try this one, with not really any regard that I'm there, and I'm not taking offense at all. I'm just like patiently waiting, watching this whole thing go down. She's like, try this one, now try this one. And he's sitting here and he's got this whole platter of samples. And then he turns to me and he's like, here, try this. And so all of a sudden...
You're going to eat off his plate? I love it.
All of a sudden, I'm in this like threesome of sampling. We're sitting here eating all these baked goods and they're so good. And I just like leaned into it because he wasn't being weird about it. And she was having such a good time sharing her baked goods. And so I'm looking at the display case and she has like these red velvet donuts. Everything's gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar. Like you could tell she's very fit. She probably never sleeps. Those people that like truly I started following her on Instagram. It's called Bijou Bean, Bijou, like the French word bijou, bean, Bean.
What does bijou mean in French?
Bijou is, I should know this because I know French.
Any French people out there?
Is kiss. Bijou is jewelry. So it's like a piece of jewelry, like a jewel. Yeah.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, so I'm sitting there and we're like sampling all these things and he's like, I lost 90 pounds last year from, cutting out all the crap out of my diet or something. He's mentioned something about his health and how he was like, really trying to clean up his diet or like just be better. And he goes, and then I lost 90 pounds and I started walking. I'm like, that's really good. And so he's like, yeah, I'm trying to eat healthy. Okay, so then I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I just remembered the donuts. So she's talking about these red velvet donuts and she goes, I just thought of those this morning. God gave those to me. God put that in my head. And I was like, that is the cutest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, she was also one of those people that I, for whatever your beliefs, I do really love people who just put everything onto God. Like, I just think,
yeah,
I love people like that. I personally am not, that's not my vibe. I kind of almost wish I was because it's such a like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's such a positive way to live. But she was like, God put that in my brain this morning. And I made those. And I was like, well, if God gave those to you, I need to buy one.
Yes, you do.
So I bought a God donut, which was delicious.
Did you feel very enlightened or?
Well, I sure did because it was amazing. It took me to spiritual places. It was so good. But yeah, anyway, it was just such a fun rando. I was probably there for a good half hour, just talking to her, listening to her about her business. And she was kind of spouting this like, everything I do is through God and like, but not in a weird way, not in like a preachy way, just like in this very pure, this is just what I do way, I just really loved it. It was great. So that was my laugh because I left with like $60 worth of baked goods.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And I was like, well, Miss Yvonne, her name's Yvonne. I was like,
of course,
Miss Yvonne.
Miss Yvonne. This is getting better and better.
I was like, Yvonne, I will see you next week and every week now for the farmer's market because I'm going to come back and buy all your baked goods. So it was really funny because like by the time it had just opened and by the time myself and this other gentleman had purchased baked goods, I'm like, you're not going to be able to.
You cleaned her out.
You're going to sell out in like 20 minutes. So yeah, it was lovely. So Miss Yvonne, if you're listening, Bijou Bean, give her a follow on Instagram. Just the cutest. And she posts things at like 4 a.m. that she's at the gym working out. And she's like seriously, look her up. She is posting things where she's like, posting things, positive affirmations. And it's just like, it's the best thing ever.
That's amazing.
Love people like that just kind of give you a dose of goodness in your day.
We need more of that.
We really do. Oh, can I add another one? Last night, this just came to my mind. Like people who are just the dose of goodness in your day. I was at PetSmart last night or Petco because my cat has diarrhea.
Oh, no,
wah, wah.
Butters.
Butters has buttery diarrhea.
Oh, no. Oh, no. All the jokes are coming to my head right now.
So I had to go to PetSmart to get some, little over-the-counter medicine. And I was at the checkout counter. And when I was trying to find this medication, everything was sold out. Apparently, all the animals get diarrhea because all the diarrhea medication was gone.
Wow.
So I found this like one tiny bottle that I was like, well, this isn't my favorite brand. This isn't like my go-to, but I'm going to buy it because it's the only thing here and I'm desperate. So I get to the checkout counter and the gal was like, she saw what I was buying. It was like pumpkin and then this diarrhea medication. She goes, oh, poor baby. Do you try probiotics? And I was like, do you have probiotics? Because that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Was like this. It's called Proviable. It's a great. They sell it in like tablets, paste, and probiotics, and it does the trick. Hot tip out there. And she looks over and she just like grabs this box right next to her, and she's like, "Yeah, this is." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I've been looking for that. This is exactly what I need." And so she was just really cute because she took the time to give me all these like tips and tricks. And, you know, like people can do a checkout and really not talk to you, but she was so cute and helpful. And I was just like, you kind of like made my day. So thank you so much for that. Shout out to people who have that vibe. Okay.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I hope Butter starts to feel better.
I hope so too. It's really not been fun. I mean, luckily he's not going out, knock on wood, he's not going outside of his litter box, but the litter has been questionable. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, do you think it's probably maybe because you all left town and Butters had to go stay with somebody else? And
No.
Okay.
I honestly don't think that. He is not a stressed out kind of cat. He just kind of goes with the flow. I don't know. You just never know with animals. He could have eaten a spider. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like,
Okay.
who the heck knows? He could have eaten a moth. Who the heck knows? It could have been a bad batch of cat food. So fingers crossed he gets better today because I'm worried about him.
Yeah. Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, I know. It's hard when animals get sick because they can't tell you what's happening.
Yeah. Well, goodness. Yeah. So my laughs and cries for the week. My laugh has to do with my mother-in-law was over this week and she was sitting and I was like standing. And so she was like, kind of patted me, you know, if you put your arm around somebody and pat them. So I think I've shared with everybody, my mother-in-law has Alzheimer's. You know, things have been a little bit difficult lately for her, but she started patting my butt and I was like, oh, Ginger, you're spanking me. You know, I like to kid around with her. It probably drives her nuts. But anyway, that's just who I am. And she's like, oh, you're so toned. And we started cracking up because it was so funny. Like, I don't think I've ever heard her use the word toned, and it just is strange. And for her to put that together was like really comical.
That is
and what's even more comical about it is I don't really feel like my behind is toned. So I'm just like, I'm pretty sure you are getting my hip bone, but okay, we'll go with it. So it was just so cute and funny.
Cute. I love that.
Yeah, it was cute and funny because it was just like so, you know, those moments when it's like somebody says something that's just not them and like
right.
weird and just like, oh, okay. It was just comical. You know, I didn't have a cry until like last night and until this morning. Essentially, yesterday evening, my dog Fritz decided to eat one of my plants, which is toxic to dogs. It was an elephant ear. And so it was out in this one place and I'd moved it to the patio because they're never out there by themselves because we have a pool and I don't want them to fall in. And so we would be able to catch him if he's eating it. So I'd moved it to the patio to get some shade. But the back door was open and he likes to go in and out. And so Robin was on the phone doing something and kind of watching, you know, those moments when you're like, I'm watching my dog, but then I'm kind of not.
Totally.
I'm totally.
You have a moment of like, you're just not paying attention. Yeah.
And next thing she knows, I'm hearing her yell at him like, Fritz, stop. And I go in there and there's dirt all over the carpet by the door. And there's parts of my plant. And I'm like, oh my God, my elephant ear. Because I was trying to save it from the heat. And then I'm like, she's like, yeah, I think those are toxic to dogs. I'm like, oh, geez, I totally forgot that. And I shouldn't have said it there. It was my fault.
Right.
And then I'm like crying about my plant being like, because I really like my plants. It was totally disintegrated and he had pulled out, you know, elephant ears have bulbs. And so he had chopped one all the way down. And I don't think he had really eaten it. He just shredded it. And then he'd pulled out the bulb. And then I'm like, what is this chunk? And I realized it's the bulb that he's actually been gnawing on.
Oh, because he liked the texture of whatever of the bulb. Yeah.
So then I started freaking out. And I'm like, oh my God, we can't afford an emergency vet visit. This can't happen. He, you know, like this dog, he likes to eat plants and stuff. I don't know why. He'll eat dirt out there. So anyway, we just kind of kept an eye on him, and he's been fine, luckily.
Oh, thank goodness.
I know. I was like,
so
what
is
worried.
it with the animals getting sick this
So
week?
I was like, my plant, and then I was like, my dog is going to die because it's like, your airways can like close up and stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I guess he didn't ingest that much out, which is good. And then the biggest kind of cry this morning is, I don't know if anybody can relate with this. I am not the best with like dates, anniversary dates, big dates, even maybe remembering people's birthdays sometimes. It just slips out of my mind. I get greeted this morning with my cup of coffee and a card that says happy anniversary. Oh my God. And I'm like, oh my God, I am so bad. Why are you with me? I'm a terrible, it's like, I suck so bad. And it's 15 years it's the dating anniversary. Okay.
Oh, thank God. Okay, that's way better. Yeah.
But
yeah,
I just have been I was dealing with so much this week with other stuff. And I'm like, it's 15 years of dating. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like laying there, like having my own pity party about this. And I'm like
feeling like such a jerk.
Yeah, I'm a jerk. Yeah. Why are you like, you should divorce me right now. I'm terrible.
No, because I feel like there's always one of those in a couple. I am the one that remembers everything.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. I remember, but I think it's just a trait. And my mom's really good at it. So it's always in my brain. I always go through June and I'm like, who's in June? And I just have this memory of people and anniversaries and whatever.
Yeah.
But Scott's not like that. And Scott I'll be, our dating anniversary is Memorial Day weekend. I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's been so many years since we started dating. And he'll be like, oh, really?
So he's not remembering. Okay. But like, do you go and like get a card and get anniversary donuts?
No, I'm not. I don't go that far with like gifts. So like, but
you just remember.
On the reverse, Scott is such a good gift giver. Like he is almost annoyingly good, where I feel, well, I'll tell a story about that really quickly because his birthday's tomorrow. But
happy birthday, Scott.
Yeah, happy birthday, Scott. He is so good at gift giving. Like, I can't even tell you how good he is at gift giving, that it constantly makes me feel like I am just never going to live up to the level of, so I've stopped trying. I'm like, I will never be this good. He knows I love him. Gifts are a love language. He doesn't care about like, oh my gosh, you didn't give me the perfect gift. Like, that's just not who he is. But it's interesting. I don't take it like if he doesn't remember an anniversary or date, I have to remind him now of our wedding anniversary. He'll be like, oh yeah, is that when it is? I don't take it personal because I'm like, I just kind of know that like we all have our strengths and weaknesses. So I'm sure Robin's not like, oh, Rebecca, you're such a jerk. Like,
no, totally okay with it. It's like, she thought it was freaking hilarious. Like,
which is
because she expected
why you're perfect together. Yeah.
Like, you're totally fine. Not a problem. I know this about you. It's like, this is just who you are.
Yeah, that's really cute. So the funny story about Scott's birthday, I just said it's been really hard to get him a gift. So this year, we just finished our vinyl room. So we moved into this new house. We made a room that's like very specific to showcasing all of his records because he's collected records and really cool records and posters, concert posters. He loves live music. So he always goes to music or concerts and live shows and gets the posters that are signed by the artist, like really cool pieces of art, really. And so he has a bunch framed. So this vinyl room is really awesome. It's like this, almost like a work of art within our living room because it's like in this glass room. We have a glass case of emotions.
It's like a fishbowl.
Yeah, it's like a fishbowl room. So you can kind of see it when you're in the living room, but it's like a separate room. Anyway, so he's going to Metallica tonight for his birthday with his best friend.
Oh, cool.
I know he wanted one of the Metallica albums. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it. But when I was at Target last week, he's like, hey, can you check to see if they have this album? And they were sold out. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to get that for his birthday. So I got that. But when I was on the Target website, I also saw this Prince Greatest Hits Target exclusive vinyl album. And we love Prince, of course. Who doesn't? And so I bought that as well. I was like, I hope I checked because all of his vinyl is sorted alphabetically. So I knew that he didn't have this Prince album. I mean, we're talking like hundreds of records that I would have had to go through. So luckily they were all alphabetized.
Yeah.
And so I saw that he didn't have it. I got it. And so I gave it to him this morning just because I know he's going to the show tonight. So I was like, well, maybe he'll want to listen to this before the show, right? And so I gave it to him this morning. He goes, how did you know I wanted these? I'm like, well, you told, last week you wanted me to get the Metallica. And he goes, yeah, but I had the Prince one in my cart too. Did you see these in my cart? I'm like, how would I see these in your cart? We have 2 separate Target accounts. But I felt so validated that I picked a vinyl that he wanted and I didn't even know it. I was like, wow,
you won.
I feel like I have unlocked a new level of our relationship.
You have.
That I never do that. Like I can never predict things that he wants. And that was, he's like, yeah, I had this one in my cart too. And I'm like,
wow.
I'm the best wife ever.
Yes, you are, Joy. You just are winning at life right now. I'm so happy for you. This is exciting.
Oh, I mean, it took a while. It took a while to get here, but I will accept the award of best wife ever.
Yeah. I love that. Well, happy birthday, Scott. I hope the Metallica concert's amazing.
I know. It's so funny. He's like, I have no idea what I'm getting into. Because the Metallica crowd is...
Yeah.
It's an interesting crowd.
Yeah.
And Scott's more of like the indie nerdy-ish kind of guy, so he's not going to be
mosh pitting, things like that. Yeah.
But he did wear, oh my gosh, this is so funny. He was at Target, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and he bought this sleeveless shirt that was like red, white, and blue that said America on the front. Like, this is not something he would
my God.
elect to wear. And he goes, I think I'm going to wear this to Metallica. I'm like, oh my gosh, that tracks.
Is he going to wear like a bandana on his head too? I'm just picturing like
should.
this
If
shirt.
If he's going to wear that, he might as well just go all in.
Yeah. I mean, cut off jean shorts, real short cut off jean shorts.
Real short.
Real short. I mean, he's probably got a pair of jeans that we could cut up right now for him.
I mean, I just can't wait to hear about the people watching. I'm sure it's going to be a good crowd.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So that is that. Let's move on to our topics of the week. We had some really good listener questions this week, so we're going to read one, and also a comment from our wonderful, we love seeing your comments on Instagram, so you can follow us at Laugh Cry Club on Instagram.
Yeah.
But this was on one of our Instagram posts from like one of our previous episodes. And Bonnie, we love you, Bonnie, commented, taking my 90 seconds to scream cry into the void this morning. Basically just meaning, you know what? 90 seconds is all it takes for you to get an emotion out.
Yeah. 90 seconds. And sometimes, you do need to just scream into the void because it's like, what else are you going to do? Maybe you can't laugh or cry. It's just like, I just need to emote. Well, thanks, Bonnie. I mean, I love seeing all your comments.
When's the last time you've had to do that, Rebecca?
Probably earlier this week. It wasn't like a angry scream. It was more of like a frustration, like a like you're doing something and then you like it was kind of like that. I don't know if it was for a full 90 seconds. It was probably just for 10 seconds, but
just like letting out a frustration.
Yeah, just let it out so you can move forward.
Let's normalize that. Let's just everyone right now, wherever you are, maybe it's in a private spot or in your car, you just go ahead and let out a scream. Ready, you go. I'm not going to scream into the microphone.
It'll be so loud. We'll blow out your eardrums.
Yeah.
But we're silently screaming. It's like the scream, the scream emoji. Yeah. So if you're, at a place of work or you're getting your coffee and you're in Starbucks right now and you're like, I can't scream out because you don't want to draw attention to yourself, which I totally get. You can just do a silent scream. Mm-hmm. Those are fun too. I actually probably do those quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Bonnie, for that.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Yeah. And do you want to read our listener question?
Yes. So this is from a listener leaving a comment on our Instagram post. This is, why don't we listen to how we feel when things are bad and then we wait to change them? I can logic my way into staying to keep trying, keep forcing a situation to be better that I really have no control over. When I do exit out of that bad environment, I usually wish I had done it long ago when I first felt out of alignment. But I'm getting better, and my renewed commitment to myself is to listen and feel before thinking when I feel something's off. Wish me luck, I can make it last. Oh, thank you so much. That's such a great one. So,
and we are wishing you luck.
We are wishing you.
Yeah, I'm wishing everybody luck out there because we all need it.
Yes, we do. But why don't we listen to how we feel when things are bad?
Wow,
And then we wait. Like we wait it out.
That's a hard one because I feel like it depends. Every situation's unique, right? And it all kind of depends what we're going through. But my first thought on this is that it goes to survival. And I know I've talked about that. If you listen to some other episodes in the past, like we're all just trying to survive. That's why we do certain things. Yeah. And I feel like that's what it comes from, is this desire to survive, to keep going. But I think, depending on the situation, sometimes we stay in it. It could be one, fear that we're afraid to leave, even though we know this situation is bad. It could be the fear associated with something new, which I think keeps people staying. Sometimes we don't maybe have all the coping skills that we think we need. I would say we think we don't have them, but I would say that most of us do have them. We just don't know how to access them in that moment, probably. And, some of us have this thing called people pleasing, and I am one of them. I don't know if this listener is one of those people.
I'm sure all of us can relate to that at some point. I really think there's so many of us out there that are walking around. Yeah.
Maybe there's something like, I don't want to let these people down or something. And then I think it also comes to like, sometimes we don't want to let ourselves down, and we think, depending on the generation you are raised too, I think this is part of it. Because if you were raised in, say, like 80s, there's probably this mindset of like, you get through, you stick to it, even if it's really hard. Like, you don't give up because you're going to I'm going to force this to work. We have now learned that that's not always the healthiest thing. But I think sometimes generationally, when you were raised, also comes into play. Like you feel like I have to accomplish something by sticking this out.
Yeah. And I also want to just normalize that it's okay to stay in something, to really, really know that you've given it your all. There's so many times that I think it depends on your personality, but there's been plenty of times where I've stayed in something that really wasn't in my best interest, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a job, whether it be a friendship, whether it be whatever, maybe, where I want to make sure I've done everything I can to quote unquote make it work. At the end of the day, if you decide to leave and you're like, why didn't I leave sooner? Well, maybe you just weren't 1000% sure. And what I think happens over time is you get better at discerning when to leave or when to end something, when to leave a job, when to end a relationship, when to end a friendship. I think that just comes with maturity and comes with time, because it's not a skill that everyone just is taught. And it depends on the situation. So for example, when I was at a job with Kaiser, it was horribly toxic. Oh, it's so funny. Now that I'm speaking of this, it just came up to me. I had a really intense dream about it last night.
Wow.
Whoa. Subconscious is coming in hot.
It is. Wow.
Like so just to give you an example, like it still really affects me. Like the dream last night was me confronting the gal who completely betrayed me. Wow. In my dream, I let her have it. And that feels good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, because you're still processing it, right?
And so in the dream, she tried to apologize. And I was like, no.
You're absolutely like, I'm not accepting your apology.
I will never accept your apology. You're a piece of shit. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, so when I was in that horribly toxic job, I stayed and I kept staying because I didn't think I could find something better. But at the time, I wasn't, the job market I wasn't as familiar as like how to even just navigate getting another job, which sounds silly, but all of my job opportunities in my life have fallen in my lap. I was given my first job opportunity via referral. My second job opportunity was also a referral. So then moving on to something else felt scary to me, where I was like, I don't know where I'm going to go and find something this good. I had free health insurance, everyone.
Wow.
Nothing like insane health benefits.
That's amazing.
Really good pay, like higher pay than most mental health manager roles, so I could convince myself to stick it out, even though all the signs were pointing me to get the hell out of there. I was physically ill. I had an autoimmune disease. I lost 20 pounds from stress. I was just not doing well, right? But once I got out of it, I was kind of forced out of it. looking back, I was like, wow, why didn't I listen? But hindsight's 2020. And now I know that I will be okay, whatever happens moving forward. So, and then the same with relationships. I think you get better over time with discerning when is really a good time to go. And I also wonder if people put blame on themselves or shame if they give up. Let's say it's a marriage and they want to end a marriage.
I would say there's definitely
a lot of shame
that happens for
that.
people. Even a job, like, oh, I failed because I didn't stick it out, or it is totally okay to leave. I just want everybody to know that. Leave whatever situation you need to, and you don't even need to provide a reason.
You don't.
Because it doesn't really matter what the reason is. And you can tell, like, we actually do this. I think a lot of people will be like, oh, I need to leave this relationship for XYZ. I think a relationship might be a little bit different. Maybe you could say why. I think most people know at that point. But a truly toxic, abusive relationship, no, you don't need to say anything.
No excuses.
But like with a job, even we'll be like, oh, I'm resigning for this, blah blah blah. It's like, you know what? Just say I'm resigning. This is my end date. You don't need to give anybody any further information. Because that relationship is ending.
Explanations.
None.
Yeah,
so
that's like one of my rules.
I want you all to give yourself permission to do that. You do not need to explain yourself to anybody.
Anybody. And I would also circle back to something I know I've said before is when you have to say no to something, you can just say no and not have an explanation for it.
Totally. And I would say that's so hard to learn, right?
That's the people-pleasing part. Where
people pleasing.
I don't want to let people down, but man, if I don't want to go to something, I will say, no, I'm sorry, I can't make it.
I love that. I love that.
It's like, I've been doing that for quite a while. I learned that probably, I'd say 10 years ago is my start date of that. But it is not easy because I used to, you want to be people pleaser. You want to make, you don't want to hurt people's feelings. But I mean, Lord Almighty, it's exhausting. So
it is. So I think everybody sticks with things for different reasons. But I want you all to know it's okay to leave. Cut yourself some slack. Maybe give yourself some grace in it too. Like, it is really hard to make a decision, especially when you're like, you've got your logic, your brain, and then like your heart and the emotions of it. They can be very different and it can be super confusing. And you feel like, I think that's where a lot of increase in anxiety happens for people too. When you're like, I'm trying to make a decision. Like, what do I do? What do I do? And it's almost like we want to call the 1-900 psychic line and ask Chi-Chi
exactly
what I need to do. And
ask who?
Chi-Chi? I don't know. I'm just thinking Chi-Chi sounds like a psychic.
It's amazing. I love Chi-Chi.
I mean, gosh, I need a Chi-Chi in my life. Maybe that's my new business I'm going to start up. You just call me up and I'll tell you what you need to do. Just ask Chi-Chi.
Just ask Chi-Chi. You know what? There have been many times in my life too. And sometimes I will go see a psychic. I think I did this when we were moving to the house that we lost. And this is so funny, like hindsight, I remember thinking like I had so much anxiety about this house and it's so funny that it fell through. But at that time I needed someone to tell me. And it's, honestly, you just have to walk through it. No one is going to tell you what's going to happen. No one can confirm or deny what's going to happen. And that is really, really hard to sit in the uncertainty. But I also have an opinion around not making a decision raises your anxiety. Once you make a decision, you will feel how that feels. There's never, in my opinion, a wrong decision. Obviously, exceptions of like murdering someone. Don't do that. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
we're not condoning that.
Normal human decision making, not including crimes or things that hurt people, where if you're just trying to make a decision, something that I live by that I got from like this motivational type of speaker was make a decision and then make it right.
Ooh.
Meaning make a decision and then make it work. Meaning commit to the decision. So like own the decision and lead through that path, walk through that door. I always see that once you walk through a door, more information comes to you. But the vague or in the ambiguity is where you get so spun up. So once you make a decision, things start moving really quickly.
You're right.
You get more information. You get more validation of your decision or not validation. And then you go, oh, okay, actually, I didn't want this door. I actually want this door. So I think we are so wrapped up in the making the wrong decision,
we are.
quote unquote wrong
We're
decision.
afraid of it.
We are afraid of it, that it keeps us stagnant. And I try to practice that too, where I'm like, just make a decision and make it right. Because once you make a decision, more information will come to you that will then validate what the next steps are. And I also have to quote a boss that I had. It was the DA that I worked for back when I was at the DEA's office. And I interviewed him for like one of our little work newsletters. And I was, at the time I was, a lot younger. I was probably like early 30s. And I remember being so amazed by how people's careers, when they just, remember last week we were talking about goals and like things would fall in your lap. Yep. I was always very intrigued by people who just kind of like those things kept happening to them and they were kind of kept climbing the corporate ladder. And how did he get to the DA at such a young age? I was very intrigued by that. And I said, how do you know which opportunities to take? Like, what led you to be here? And he said, well, as long as you take opportunities in the zip code of your interest, that will always lead you to something that's,
I love
and
that.
I always think of that. And so I always think about, well, perfect is the enemy of good. We get into that mindset of it has to be the right decision, where we're missing the opportunities. And I'll give a motivation update because this totally aligns with what we were talking about last week, which as long as you're falling in the zip code of your interests, I think that will kind of like keep leading you to where it's almost like we got these like little training wheels that kind of keep pivoting us to where we need to go.
Yeah.
But we get so stuck on this like perfection, right, wrong, fear of failure. But I think that's all good information.
I like that. So essentially, we just need to commit to something, walk through the door, but remain flexible.
Yes.
And then other doors are going to keep appearing to you all the time. And then if you're flexible, then you can choose them. I think what happens too is we get so rigid. It's like,
Correct.
Now I'm in this new thing and I've got to stick with it. It's like, no, you don't. You can flex or pivot at any point. So just know that nothing has to be forever or permanent. Yeah. So give us an update on your motivation, Joy.
I'm laughing because I think Scott's playing the Metallica vinyl.
I
can hear music downstairs and I'm like, I think he's playing it.
He's trying on his outfit.
He's trying
vibe. He's like, does this feel right? Are these shoes right?
Like, sleeveless shirt. It's so funny. So I thought it would be interesting to share an update because since last week when we released the episode around motivation and goals, and I really liked that conversation. It got me thinking immediately after we hung up, where what you said to me really rang true about. Maybe there's opportunities that are in front of you. And this is exactly what I was doing, was I was really myopically focused on having to have these very specific goals versus looking at what opportunities might be in my path already. Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
So I then talked to one of my best friends who knows me very well and will just like tell it like it is. And she goes, you know what, Joy? You just need more activities that like connect you with people. You are so isolated, which is totally true. Since COVID and since I changed jobs to work remotely, I've really isolated the things that I am doing like within a community. I used to go to a gym every day. I used to go into an office every day. Like there's a lot of things that I really didn't take the time to think of how much that really is impacting me socially and creatively. So last week, I was like, okay, I'm going to take Rebecca's advice. I'm just going to look at what opportunities are in my bubble right now. And I'm, just going to kind of leave that energy open, right? I kid you not. Like within 2 days, all these things happened.
Wow.
And our workspace has this coaching program that just opened the new registration for a cohort that starts in July. And Rebecca, you went through this program.
I went through it. It's amazing. And it's free to the employees. So it's
which is
really
it's not a cheap certification. No. It's really expensive. And they offer it free to the employees. So I was like, and in the past, when I've seen it, I'm like, that's a long time commitment. I've excused it away, right? It sounds, because it's a 5-month-long program and you get a coaching certificate. But, to me, it's continuing education. It's enhancing the things that I already do. And I mean, you could probably speak to this more, Rebecca, of like what you got out of it as a therapist. But I asked you your advice and you're like, hands down, do it. And I was like, wow, if Rebecca endorses this, like, I'm going to hands down do it.
I endorse it. So you signed up.
I signed up.
Yay.
And it starts on July 7th,
Awesome.
every Monday for 5 months. And it's going to be, now granted, it's still virtual, but it's within a community. Like you're going to be within a cohort. And that's what my other friend said. She's like, you need something that is like weekly with the same people, because you need to develop like this cohort relationship where people will be like, where were you last week? Like if you don't show up to the gym class,
where were you?
They're like, where were you? You know?
Yeah.
People miss you. So that happened. And then I started looking at my rec center. We have a rec center here in Castle Rock that's really robust and has tons of programs. And they have free yoga in the parks on Sundays.
Oh.
And there's this park right by me that I've always wanted to check out. I signed up for a yoga class on Sunday to go do yoga in the park with a bunch of people on Sunday morning.
With people you don't know, and you're going to do it.
With people I don't know. So that was my other thing.
Wow.
Then this was so funny. I was like, wow, opportunities are just flying in my lap. My work also has this media team where they do social media posts. They're always looking for people to write articles. They're always asking for people to add to an article for Time Magazine or People Magazine. They want to do an article about anxiety. So this team gets the opportunities, and then they will field it to the therapist to say, is anyone available to do this article? And they kind of ghostwrite it with you, so you don't have to do a ton of time because it takes a lot of time. So I offered to help with, and normally I see these and I just let it pass by because I'm like, I'm too tired, I'm too busy, whatever. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to get into this and I'm going to help, right? So I helped with a couple articles, which was great, and got a lot of good feedback about that. And then one of the gals did a post that says, "Does anyone watch Love Island?"
And I was like, you do.
Hello.
You are totally an expert. And it's pop culture, which is totally your jam.
Totally my jam.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy
and
for
so
you.
I was like, yeah, I do. And so we talked yesterday, and what she's going to have me do is for 2 weeks straight, I'm going to do she's going to help me do these social media posts where I'm going to watch a clip and then respond as a therapist to like the behaviors, the relationship dynamics, the whatever. And I'm like, that's really fun. And so, and then she also got me connected to the guy who does like all the podcasting there. So I'm like, hey, do you want to pimp our show, Laugh Cry Club? So like all these things kind of like came up quickly. So open our eyes is the lesson for me.
Well, that's amazing because I feel like first of all, I'm so excited for you. This is really cool. Maybe I need to listen to myself because I felt really stagnant still. And I'm like looking for my motivation still. And I'm like, I don't know what I need. And I guess I would say I did sign up for a bike rally for tomorrow.
That's great.
And, it's just 20 miles. So it's not like a big thing. But it's totally doable. It's
20 miles is a lot. But
I guess so. I mean, but it's, that's totally a doable thing. Like I don't have to train for it. I could go out and ride it this weekend, and I'm just gonna take my time. And it starts early, which I like, 7:30 a.m. because some of these rides start at like 8 or 9. I'm like, that is too late in this heat and humidity here in Texas. So, and I don't really want to pass out. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. But otherwise, I'm still feeling pretty stagnant, and I'm not sure what I need or what I'm gonna do. But maybe I need to re-listen to that podcast.
Well,
called
you should take your own advice because it really was helpful. It really shifted.
Well, I'm glad it was helpful to you.
Go listen to your past self because it was really helpful advice. I would also encourage you to think about it this way too, is you made me realize how I talk to myself. I think for the most part, we think we're being positive about ourselves, but I'm actually not all the time. I mean, I think that's kind of like stating the obvious. Captain Obvious here. Like we're not always nice to ourselves, but I don't think I was recognizing it as much, like how often I do it, where I'm like, you stupid, like whatever internal thoughts we have around, I feel so unmotivated. I don't have any goal. Like that's how you talk to yourself. Like, so I started being like, I'm just going to look for opportunities. I'm going to be nice to myself. Like if I don't find something today, maybe it's tomorrow. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to take a page out of Chelsea's book and look at the small things and go look at some flowers. And I thought about you planting your flowers. And these are all things that are really, those small acts really make a difference. And I'm not saying I'm like, I've solved my problems, but it just really got me to think about these little changes that can make a big difference of like, wow, I actually proved to myself that I'm not stuck forever and that you can do these small changes that make a difference in your energy. So
you kind of shifted something, and it reminds me of like if you take a small pebble and you throw it in a pond, it always makes ripples. There's always like additional things that start unfolding. And so, and it's just so small. It's not a heavy lift.
Exactly. It didn't have to be like this huge burning bush goal, which I think that's what I was looking for, was like, I want this like grand gesture of a goal. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works. At least not for me.
I do have to say that I always love that you refer to this as like a burning bush moment, which is so religious, and it's probably going back to your Catholic roots.
But it is.
I'm like, every time I hear it, I'm like, this is biblical. So she's looking for something biblical proportion to get her.
Proportion.
And guess what? You just did, because you're the gluten-free lady is like totally vibing with that.
There's some spirituality that was happening there. Oh, which reminds me of not the burning bush, but remember the singing bush on the Three Amigos?
Oh, yes.
So maybe we can say the singing bush instead.
Hey, I just love this. You do you, boo, and I'm here for it, okay?
All right. Well, I love this conversation, and hopefully our listeners got something out of it. Hopefully you screamed into the void if you needed to.
Yes.
Just give us feedback. We always love to hear from you. laughcryclub@gmail.com. Comment on anything you want on our Instagram, because we will see it and we will talk about it at laughcryclub.
We will love to talk about it.
And until next time, we love you.
We love you all.
Thank you for being in this club.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
That's life, baby.